everybody. Hello. Surprise. Gotcha. Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome to Blood and Popcorn, everyone. Happy Friday night. Hello. Welcome to Blood and Popcorn here on Channel 29. I'm TJ Rotell, your host. With me as always, I think I'm doing this right. The one, the only, the Demogorgon, Denise Pantoja. And also with us, once again, the odd movie master himself, Mr. Glenn Akers. Guys, it's Friday night. Blood and Popcorn. We're having some beers. We're taking a walk down memory lane, back to a simpler time when you could get together with your friends and family and go on a shopping excursion of sorts. Go find yourself at your local shopping mall, or as we're going to call it tonight, your local chopping mall. Denise, this was your pick. Why'd you pick chopping mall?
I honestly think that this is one that far too many people have slept on. You know what I mean? Don't sleep on this one. It is a delightful movie. Gone are the days when you could find a gun store in a mall. And I gotta tell you, I'm real sad for when the zombie apocalypse happens, not like for general. I mean, I get it. I get it why, so, like, especially now is probably not a good idea. But you know what I mean? Like, it would be a one-stop shop. And now, what are you going to do without a gun store in a mall? Anyway, I love this movie. I love it. I think it's fun. Kat, please. Lily.
We got Lily here chiming in. Hello to everybody in chat. Hello,
Hi, chat.
hello,
Lily
Pancakes.
says hi.
Subscription.
Mac Morden, thank you for the sub. We've got a hype train is so close. I don't think we've ever had a hype train.
What do
on
you
this
do
channel
when
before.
the train leaves the station?
I don't.
Do you know? I have no idea.
I don't. I think everyone just
I've been
keeps
streaming for a long time, but I have no idea.
You keep
Go to
like
the
I think
bar cart?
doing stuff like you do like
I don't know.
like
I
you
love a
do
bar
subs or like maybe bits. I don't know what you do, but it's like the hype train gets going, and then from there it's you have it. You have the hype
And
train.
so you have a train. Is it a literal train?
It's I guess it's like a multiplier for money. So like if people are like you're subbing or whatever, it's like multiplying something. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. We've never had one on the channel. We've come close because it takes I think 2 or 3 to hype train it up. But
Thanks for clearing that up, Mo.
Yeah.
Me and you.
Pancakes Lee, is that you? I wonder.
Is it?
I wonder. But yeah, welcome everybody. Happy Friday night. Thanks for being here with us. We're going to talk about Chopping Mall this evening. I know it's one of Denise's favorites. It's a classic, you know, it's a fucking weird movie. Like, I mean, it's out there, right? Like, Denise, tell us a bit about Chopping Mall. Will you give us a little taste of what we're talking about tonight?
What's so delightful about this, and let me say, I posted, we have, hey, announcement time. Blood and Popcorn has a TikTok.
Oh my God, it does have a TikTok.
It's very exciting. So I had
and you can find it right there in chat along with all of our socials.
I don't know if here.
Boom.
So I posted earlier.
Thank you.
Trailer for the movie, and it's a little misleading because they're like they broke into the mall to have a epic after hours party, and it's like no, they didn't break into the mall. Like most of them work at the mall, and then some of them just invited their significant others over so they could all have sex at the same time inside of a furniture store.
Yeah, it's like a mattress store of sorts, and they're just going at it. They're all just a bunch of crazy teens,
teens-ish,
doing
probably like maybe early 20s, doing the thing, doing the sex,
doing this,
Different time in the 80s.
making sex.
No drugs though, no drugs, right?
Cigarettes and beer.
Yeah,
I think we're the only drugs.
Lots of tits
beer.
though.
Cheap beer.
Lots of the boobs in the beginning.
TNA, heavy TNA presence in this one.
Yep.
And
Again, different time.
I mean, listen, you know, you had your boob requisite there for the 80s.
Yeah.
So it's like a big group of friends, and they are partying together. And this the mall security system has been upgraded to these robots. And it's really great. In the presentation in the beginning, they're like, well, how are the robots going to determine a thief? They have this really terrible jewel thief at the beginning in their video.
Oh,
a
man.
thief from a worker. And they're like, you have this badge. And they have badges. But the badges don't work so well.
They fail
Like
immediately.
real badges in real life.
Immediately. Was like, okay, I may have walked away and I haven't seen it, in a couple of years. Did like lightning strike or something? Did I miss that? And like
Yes.
make everything go wily? Okay.
Those
Lightning is
famous
so
LA lightning storms.
dangerous.
Well, and do you ever hear the phrase "lightning always strikes the same place over and over again"? That old
Yes.
that old famous
Little proverb.
proverb. That's it comes from this movie because the lightning strikes a transformer of sorts. It strikes a metal box like 5 times. Like we spend a solid 15, 20 seconds with lightning strikes, like bam, and then back to the lab where the guy's smoking a cigarette, looking at a nudie mag, bam, another lightning strike. And it's like, I wonder what the magic number was, how many lightning strikes it took to override the robot's anti-harm programming. Because they immediately
go murderous.
turn murderous.
Like, suffice it to say, this company failed on an epic level. There is zero failsafe in there
Yeah.
to not turn these things into murdering, rampaging robots. Yeah, so it's and then so delightfully there is some sort of locking mechanism that happens at a certain point. So they've decided to party all night in a place where they have to like get out at a certain time, because if they get locked in overnight, they get locked in. Like if at a certain time they get locked in overnight, there's no help coming. So they just finish having sex, and then the shit hits the fan, and then whoops.
Most of them finish having sex.
Most of them, that's right. There's 2 kind of like, they're a little geekier.
There's a little bit
They're,
of what was it, PJ Souls from Halloween. There's a little bit of like that level of sex where it's probably like boom boom and we're done. Like
that was literally Bob lasts like 2 minutes. Also, the guy at the beginning
Fair enough, though.
has sex with Michael's sister.
Yeah, I don't know how well I do
Like-
against 70s PJ Souls either.
None of these guys are lasting very. Okay, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, that's a different show.
Six talk.
Realism, damn
So,
it. It's
That's
realism.
sex. That's our new show coming called Sex and Popcorn, where we discuss sex scenes in horror movies exclusively.
Sex in the 80s.
We can't put it on Twitch.
Can't do it on Twitch. It's gonna break all the terms of service.
Yeah, so this happens, and they get locked in, and they're having to figure out a way out, how to outwit these killer robots.
Not just killer robots, nigh undestructible robots. like if this was a D&D game, this was a very unbalanced encounter. Like those robots had a crazy arsenal of weapons, and they were their armor class was like fucking 25. Like they were impossible to damage.
No, for sure.
They really were.
A propane tank
crazy.
under the guts knocked it over. The concussive force alone should have blown the entire interior of that robot to pieces. These things are made out of like titanium.
They're able to like get up off their sides like frightfully quickly.
Denise, you know how long turtles have been on this fucking planet?
They
You
have
knock
been
a
able to
turtle on
figure it
their
out.
shell and they're just on their back, rocking back and forth, kicking them down. These robots are so advanced that they skipped evolution.
TJ, technology.
Technology, man. It's scary.
They are
It's
the
horrifying.
future. Okay.
Except they didn't get the evolution to look up or down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was they only got the
They
side
can't do
turn. Thank
this.
God. Yeah.
They can only
We have a
do
poll
that.
in chat, by the way, now asking if you've seen Shopping Mall. So if those of you in chat
yes.
have or have not seen Shopping Mall, check out the poll. Go ahead and vote. There's a couple more
check it
minutes
out.
to go.
Answer that question.
Seconds, maybe. It could be 10 seconds. I don't know.
Oh no, I think it's pretty quick. I'm gonna answer it. Yes.
Do it.
saw
I dare you. I did it. I answered it because obviously I have seen it because we're going to talk about it tonight. This movie's got a pretty beefy cast.
Yeah, it's
does.
got a very like, especially for the 80s, like a very recognizable group of young actors. I mean, Barbara Crampton, who, congratulations, Barbara Crampton, Jacob's Wife came out on Shudder yesterday, which was actually also produced by Morgan Peter Brown, who is a friend of ours. He's in the D&D community as well, so that's really cool. And she's really young. She's really young in this, so this might have been like one of her earlier films. And then we've got, she's just delightful. Russell Todd, who was in a ton of shit in the 80s too.
You got the old man from Gremlins.
Yeah.
Who's in
Russell Todd
everything.
was in Friday the 13th Part 2. Kelly Maroney, who plays the she's the final girl. She's the young, sweet ingenue who doesn't have sex. Maybe that's why she survives. Ain't who knew.
But the
But
two
she
of them
was also-
were clearly virgins. That's why they made it through the gauntlet.
That's true. She was in Night of the Comet.
I love Night of the Comet.
That is a fantastic movie.
She's
Yes, it is.
adorable in that movie.
Yeah.
Love Night of the Comet.
Let's see. Who else? Who was that other guy? The first guy who got offed. Not the custodian, but the first friend.
I was going to
find
say,
him.
the first guy that got off, I wasn't paying that close attention to the sex scenes.
Offed. Offed.
Yeah, well, I get it now. Now I'm there.
Oh my gosh.
Now I'm there with you.
Oh, who were the snarky couple at the beginning?
Oh,
when
yeah,
they're watching the film.
they've
Oh,
both
yeah.
been in a ton of shit.
Let me see.
I could have looked this up, but I didn't.
But
I
you
know,
didn't,
what
Glenn. You didn't.
What is your problem?
And now,
Oh, it's
here
the
we are.
Bland couple, Mr. and Mrs. Bland. So Paul Bartel was Paul Bland. And I
Polly
mean, he's
B.
been in a million things.
Yes, he has.
Let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm scrolling through his IMDb and it's absolutely bananas. He was in Cannonball. He was in Death Race 2000. Piranha, the 1978 version.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay. That's where I remember him from.
Mr.
Love Piranha.
Kroger from National Lampoon's European Vacation. Let's see. He was
Yeah.
in Follow That Bird.
Oh my God, Follow That Bird makes me cry every time. When Big Bird's blue and he's singing about being blue. Gets me in the heart and in the soul.
Right in the feels.
Right in the dead center of my feels. Shout out
see.
Big Bird. Shout out Sesame
Shout out to
Street.
Big Bird. Mary Woronov played Mrs. Bland. Silent Night, Bloody Night Part 3, which is in pre-production. What? Sorry.
Did we know that
Obviously haven't
Angus
seen that.
Scrim was in this movie?
What?
Fuck out of here.
As
What?
Where?
Dr. Carrington? As
Holy
Lawrence
shit, are you
Guy.
serious?
Yeah.
No, we didn't. We missed that.
What doctor?
I don't know, Dr. Carrington, but he was credited as Lawrence Guy.
Was it maybe,
Larry
remember I
Guy.
was like, there's a doctor, like in, I think it's a lab coat. It looks like a lab coat, but is he a doctor? Remember we were pausing because some of us were watching it on like IMDb TV with the commercials. So
Right.
we had
Yeah.
to pause.
We just watched this.
I
I
know.
would have noticed Angus Scrim.
I feel like I would have too, but
Unless-
maybe he wasn't all scrimmed out. Maybe he was
wasn't-
just like wearing a hat.
And Angus Scrim was born
Happy
yesterday.
birthday,
not
Angus
yesterday.
Scrim.
So,
He's
like,
probably
and
not alive
on-
anymore, right? Like he's
He
probably
is not.
passed on.
No. But
R.I.P.
it was,
Angus
it was
Scrim.
on August 20th prior to yesterday.
I can't wait until we get into Phantasm. That's gonna be fun.
Oh.
That's such a fucking weird franchise, man. Like,
That's gonna be
Yes, it
wild.
is.
oh boy, that's a weird one.
Yikes. So yeah, great cast. Oh, she was a mother in TerrorVision, Mrs. Bland.
That's what it was. That hot swinging mom from TerraVision,
And
the one,
the-
the aerobics one.
and the scientist was also
the-
in TerrAvision.
Yeah. The
Ah,
pervy
that's
scientist who had his titty
right.
magazine.
It's called a boob magazine. Okay, don't be so proud. It's not called that either. I'm just kidding.
It's not.
Anyway,
So Denise, tell
Yes.
us your fond memories of Chopping Mall. Let us know what what makes this movie your pick for the week? What brought you back to Chopping Mall after all this time?
I mean, it's set in a mall.
It is. It's right there in the title.
Those movies, it's always very interesting to see what they do with the shops in the mall. Like and it's a little typical, but I mean, like, well, no, there was the paint store and there was the gun store. There was obviously the furniture store they had sex in. But it is, because you think about it, right? Like as a viewer, and as, you know, if you're like anything like us, as somebody who does think about what might happen when the apocalypse happens, you know, where would you go? When TJ and I lived in Culver City, there was like a particular gun shop we were going straight to. But
we knew where it was. We had the plan.
We knew the things. So it's always interesting to see what you could do with a certain situation or a certain location. So that's always interesting to me, and that's always fun and exciting.
Yeah.
And it gets right into it, right? I mean, I know there's like a little bit of like, oh, hey, we're working at the diner, and oh no, we're not doing anything, Dad. I'll close up the shop. I'm not gonna have sex on the couch or anything.
Oh,
you know. But then after that, like, it gets right into it. The second the guy leaves the shop, he gets killed.
Yep.
And then very shortly thereafter, the girl loses her head, literally. Like,
gets it blown
out of
off.
nowhere.
It just and that was in the trailer too. I am really shocked they got that passed.
Like, and so in kudos to the trailer too, because you wouldn't immediately know who it is, because your females in this are 3 blonde girls and a brunette, and like the 3 blonde girls are relatively interchangeable at a glance. So, you know, you don't know. You know, one of those blonde girls is getting their fucking head blown off, but you know, you don't know which one until you watch the movie. And it really goes for it. Like, it's a proper Corman-esque head popping explosion.
It is well done. Oh, I have to host the stream. Sorry,
Do it.
I digress. But you know, I can't even remember how I came upon this. And ever since then, I've just been a huge fan of it. I'm a huge fan of this movie. So, you know, it's just one on a list of many cheesy 80s movies that I wanted to share. But most especially because I think that it has been not, you know, included.
For sure.
For so long, you know.
Yeah.
And I want to change it. I want to change that.
I love it. I'm glad you picked it, D, because I really enjoy this movie. Glenn, had you seen Chopping Mall prior to this viewing?
Yes, I had. This is, I think, if I'm remembering everything we've watched on the show, outside of the Dead trilogy we just finished, I think maybe this is the one I've seen the most.
Really?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite 80s horror movies. It's like you said, it's one that's getting slept on. I think it's getting more of a following, thankfully. The last several years, I've seen midnight or double bill showings of it here in LA quite often, which is great. It's got a stupid low rating on IMDb, and it shouldn't.
It really should. Go ahead.
It hits everything that you want in a cheesy 80s horror movie. It's like 118 minutes or 118. It's like an hour and 18 minutes. It's like, it gets to the action. There's a fair amount of TNA, which is what you expect in
an 80s
horror movies. If that's what you're into, like there's a fair amount of gore. That's like surprising. The head explosion is like,
it was really well done.
It's not slow motion scanners, but like it's pretty damn good, and they don't cut away. It's not like an implied head explosion. It's a real, like, they put a fucking
scanners level head explosion.
Yeah, they put an M80 in a fake head and they blew the shit out of it. There's that. There's just nonsensical physics and robots. I mean, they made those things. They were real. It wasn't stop motion, or it wasn't like they had at least
CG,
one working
wasn't a thing.
robot, which is no small undertaking.
No, God.
I mean, listen, the story was good. The acting was good.
The acting is like pretty well above average for like mid to late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s. Like movies of this caliber don't usually have acting this good. I mean, it's not Oscar worthy, but it's not. Listen, I can't think of a really bad movie right now, but yeah, some of the times you just like, right. I mean, yeah, sometimes you can tell that there's just like a dude off screen with like a cue card, just like, read this. Oh no, the robot is coming this way. Like, it's not that.
I'm sorry, did I have to memorize my lines? Right. Is that a thing?
No, it hits everything. Like, I love this movie.
It's kind of the definition of fun 80s horror. Like you'd said, like there's there are boxes you could tick. And if you've watched enough 80s horror to like understand what makes a movie of that genre, and this is like textbook, man. It's really cool to see, and it's like, I would never. This movie does exceptionally well what a lot of low budget movies do really well today. Our movie, Baby Frankenstein, being one of them. It puts really amazing key art and poster art out into the world that looks nothing like the movie is.
Yes.
I remember when I saw Chopping Mall, I saw it on VHS at my local Fox Video, which is where I'm pretty sure I got my VHS copy from. And I was like, wow, this cover art's so cool. There's body parts in a shopping bag and some like gnarly robot hand holding, like, what is this movie about?
And what a tagline.
Yeah.
What a tagline.
Tell it to us, Dee. Give it to us.
Oh, here, I don't want to
Don't leave us hanging on the tagline.
It's a tagline where shopping costs you an arm and a leg.
That's right.
No one gets dismembered like that, though.
No one does. There's no robot walking around with a shopping bag.
I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I mean,
only
this one
head gets missing.
Yeah, like this one is at least was in a mall. Like I feel like the Baby Frankenstein poster art is like looks like a really scary movie, and you watch that movie and it's a comedy.
Yeah, it's a family movie.
It's a dramedy. It's a fucking family dramedy about a little robot man that looks like a Frankenstein monster. I guess I don't know. The cover art that whoever distributed that did looks fucking gnarly. Yeah. It's on Amazon Prime if anyone wants to see Denise and I act in a movie. Anyway, back to Chopping Mall. This has a pretty, like, not just the names in the cast, but the cast itself, the size of the cast is pretty beefy here. Which I feel like you don't get a ton of these days. Like I feel like in the 80s, like in the Friday the 13th and shit, like you got a solid dozen, like a dirty dozen of main cast that were all going to be lambs for the slaughter, if you will. And I feel like, modern horror, you've got like a core 4 or 5, like that they stick with. And you might get like a couple ancillary characters, but I miss the big cast. I miss a bunch of zany archetypal characters, romping it up.
Yeah, the ones you're rooting for, but will die.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and it happens every time. Like, you're like, oh, this character's great, and then they get dismembered, and you're like, oh, bummer. But you knew, you did know.
You should have known.
This movie also has a crawling through an air duct scene that's better than the remake of Day of the Dead.
Way better.
And you know what?
Bad scene. Bad movie.
Maybe it's better than Die Hard. I don't know.
I wouldn't go that far.
Let's everybody calm down a bit here, okay?
Everybody calm down.
Let's not disparage Die Hard.
Oh,
classic.
Goodness.
Great Christmas.
I love that movie.
It
is one of my favorite Christmas movies.
It's a classic.
So I want to touch real quickly on that poster thing you said, TJ, because that poster art is really fabulous. What? Where are you laughing?
It doesn't happen. None of it.
No, yeah, not at all. Oh my gosh.
Like that robot hand, like kind of looks like a crazy awesome, like medieval knight glove, kind of. Like it's super metal and like really articulated. The robots just have like grab it pincher things.
Yeah, it's like it's in, and then there's the
no head in the bag.
The other one more looks like a looks like a you know, like a human hand. And
yeah.
There's like a witch finger, and you're like, no, not at all.
The head in the I have to think the head in the bag, like they saw the poster for Intruder and was like, that's fucking cool.
That's what we should do.
Which also doesn't happen in that movie either. It gets closer. Anyways.
Yeah. You know,
yes.
I wonder, I wonder, I wonder like why the robots didn't use the head exploding lasers all of the time. Like they've got this incredibly powerful future weapon that they can use to cut through steel walls and explode human heads, which also like, were they measuring the intensity? Because the human skull is a pretty hard nut to crack. And these laser beams were hitting people in the arm and in the ribs and the back. Like the one dude gets shot in the arm with a laser beam. The whole movie's like, it's like, dude, that same laser beam just blew up your friend's skull. Like your shoulder. Yeah, like they were like, now we're going to enter this one. Like, you know what I mean? Like why not just use, when you have a freaking laser beam, why not use the laser beam all the time? It's a crazy powerful and ranged weapon.
It is funny, like if you watch it, like they have like at least 3 or 4 different lasers. Like there's a greenish one, there's like a bluish one, and then there's like the steady pinkish one that does the laser cutting. Yeah. I forget what color was the one that blew up the head though.
Oh, they had channel 29 laser colors.
They did. Yeah, the colors on your currently lighting the back of your wall, Glenn.
They did. That's true.
Yeah.
It is curious, like how did they figure which one to use at all times?
Well, see, here we go. The problem is that lightning struck, so everything was all out of whack.
Yeah, it did. It got a little bananas there for a minute.
Yeah. It hit the computer center on the roof.
Yeah. Yes. Hey.
If you will.
It did.
The computer dome that they briefly.
Computer dome. Well, if you're just joining us, welcome. We're here talking about Chopping Mall, the 1986 mall-located classic about killer robots murdering sexed-up kids. I think with the takeaway here from Chopping Mall is that robots hate sex. They hate intercourse and they hate fun.
They're jealous because they can't have any of that.
Kind of like some other people I know, right? Yeah, but killer robots. And, I wonder, like, what those steel walls felt like to me when we saw the sliding steel doors all lock into place? Mm-hmm. That felt like we have these walls from another movie, and they were really expensive because we needed them for our sci-fi movie. And now the production company's like, you have to use these walls because we have to justify. Like, it's going to add a production value to this movie. It's going to solve a lot of problems of these robots aren't incredibly fast. Why don't these kids just run out the front door and go? Like
you have to get locked in.
You've got to use the steel doors. The producer loves the steel doors. They interlock. They look great. Look at this movie. They look great. And then that's why they were in the movie. I watched that and I felt immediately like, oh yeah, those were from another movie. They did not build those for this movie.
As a producer, but not an EP, I could say yes, that was probably a producer call.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was like
an EP call.
This wasn't explicitly a Corman movie, but it was.
It was ghost produced.
It's credited to his wife co-producer, Roger Corman. I'm talking about. he's
Oh,
not.
that was his wife?
I think. I mean, they have the same last name. I think it was his wife.
It could be his
Ooh,
sister.
I should know that. Ooh.
I know. What the hell?
And now you don't, and now you're off the show.
Damn.
God damn it. I think it is his wife, but I could be wrong. Either way,
I'm
he
embarrassed
was
for you.
apparently an EP, just uncredited. And like, as much as it's supposed to be like a not Corman movie, they litter this movie with literally Corman shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, in the place they're eating, there's 5 or 6 actual
Yes.
Corman movie posters. They're watching,
Yeah.
I believe,
That's
a
pretty
Corman
cool.
movie. The 2 characters who aren't having sex.
It is his wife.
Okay, that's what I thought. Julie, right?
Yes, Julie Corman.
Okay. She's credited. He's not. But like, I mean, it's their company.
Yeah.
Uh,
Can I ask? I have a question for you guys.
ooh.
Ask away.
Do you feel like, because I see this sometimes in more modern horror, modern being the last like 10 years, right? And like indie horror, and I got to be honest, it kind of bothers me a little. It's like poster art on the wall of like the character's room, and it's like usually shitty, like art department like mocked up some crap and they threw it up there, or it's like a direct like homage to the director's favorite movie, and it's very obvious. And it doesn't bother me in the 80s as much as it bothers me now.
Yeah.
Like seeing like a Slumber Party Massacre poster on the wall didn't bother me in Chopping Mall, but if I were to like see Sleepover Massacre, like the parody poster in a modern horror movie, I'd be pissed off about it. It's a weird thing. Like Denise, you've done a bunch of art department stuff. Like if you had the choice between original poster art and making poster art and having it not be great, because it's just so hard to do. Like
It is hard.
You
Well,
have to
because
commit to doing it. Like you've got to really commit to the art of it.
It is an art, and that's the thing. Like it's an entire, you're taking on an entire other profession inside of your profession. You know what I mean? Like I know a lot of art directors and things like that are artists, but like art, like poster art is a specific art form. Like I've said it before and I'll say it again. Drew Struzan, who has done almost all of the magically beautiful posters from the 80s, you know, from the Goonies to Indiana Jones, like follow him on Twitter. He's really, really great. But like that shit is I mean amazing, because you know, so many times you're taking people and recreating them inside of some sort of, like, it looks kind of like an animated thing, but it's an exact likeness. Or you're trying to create, like you said in Chopping Mall or Baby Frankenstein, you're trying to create an idea of a movie that will entice people to go see it. So if you're trying to do it for a fake movie, that's really hard, because you can't just really pop anything together and have it look good. So you're asking me, would I rather use real art or fake?
Yeah, like I think I'm just like stuck on this idea that when I was first getting started in the film industry, like writing first scripts and things, I look back at those early scripts now and I see a pattern of like me like throwing in like cheeky nods to my favorite things, and I look at that and it makes me cringe now. So when I see it on the screen, it makes me cringe because I think about when I've done it in my writing, and I think I still like doing it to some extent, but like I think one of the first scripts I wrote for like a zombie movie, I think I named like the bar like Romero's or something. It was like so obviously a nod, like
It's very overt.
not like, and I feel like poster art can get you there sometimes, like on the walls where it's like, I'm gonna put a poster for the gate in this girl's room because and everything and it sticks out like a sore thumb, but it's the only bedroom, and the director really wants to get the poster in the movie.
Right. Well, Jonathan has an Evil Dead poster in Stranger Things on his wall.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I do understand your trepidation there, and I think it's probably because nowadays people are playing on that nostalgia. It's not so much to allow you a glimpse into the character. It's more to tug on the nostalgia strings and to be like I love Stranger Things more than anything. I have rewatched that show so many times this year. It's ridiculous. And I am dying for season 4. But season 3 was a little heavy handed, especially because they went into the mall with a lot of that product placement from the 80s, and a lot of like, oh, hey, look at us, Coke. What is it? Real Coke,
New
or
Coke.
something like that? Coke.
They re-released New Coke for that.
I mean, they would be stupid not to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that. But I mean,
Dave. Dude, I fucking love Crystal Pepsi. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, they need to bring that shit back.
Crystal Pepsi is the best version of soda.
They did a couple of years ago, didn't they? A few years ago, we got a couple, right?
Yeah,
TJ?
we got a couple and drank them. They're delicious.
I think that there is definitely a fine line to ride, but if it can offer a glimpse into your character's character. But the problem too is that nowadays things are much more difficult to get permission for. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much red tape. There's so many people who, want to be compensated for things or don't want to give permission. So it is it's just a different world that we live in.
I think what I would want to do in my movie is find like real indie horror and use those posters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glenn gets
for
it.
real.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, like the
yeah, I agree. Like in the 80s, that's the other thing. Like in the 80s, horror movies were such a thing, part of the culture. Like, people loved horror movies and went and watched them, and like it was just commonplace. There were just a ton of them, obviously. Yeah. They aren't as prevalent as they are now, or they are more prevalent than they are now. So like it's more weird to see like a present day movie with people showing like It Follows or something on their wall, and it's like, did a kid really have an It Follows poster?
Yeah, right.
It was also more of a niche thing, and you had to really, really love it, I think, in order to display posters. And I think that in a way, a lot of the mass majority of youth lack the passion for particular things that existed back then.
Did either of you have horror posters on your bedrooms in high school?
Yeah.
Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember any of the ones you had on your wall?
Give me a second. All I can think of is I had a lot of Austin Powers on my wall, which is not a horror movie.
I only remember 2. I had The Faculty, and I had the penned by James Gunn Tromeo and Juliet.
Nice.
Yeah, I still have my Tromeo and Juliet. It's a little worse for wear, but I still have it.
I had the Evil Dead 2 like skull face profile mask or profile poster, but I had to get rid of it because I'd wake up in the middle of the night and there was this giant scary fucking face next to my head, and I couldn't deal with it.
Oh no.
I used to have the Crypt Keeper hanging over my bed. Like a 3D model of the Crypt Keeper hanging over my bed, like looking over me.
It was really a sad day when he dry rotted.
Yeah, it was awful. Mac Morton,
I had more, but I can't remember.
Stupid Teenagers Must Die is a great example. Hide and Creep is a great example of like modern indie horror.
Back to what we were talking about, those are great, by the way. Like, as much as I love Stranger Things, they do it in a way. They also kind of started, or at least super popularized the trend of being, here's a nostalgia bomb. So like they sort of get a pass, but I agree with you. Season 3 kind of went a little far with it, but they also did it legitimately. Like they struck a deal with Coke to literally bring back the thing that almost killed Coke.
Right.
Like that's crazy.
And I'm sure
it
they
wasn't
made
even
a
the
shit
DEA,
ton
you
of
know
money
what I
on
mean?
it.
Right. Coca-Cola is what I'm talking about.
Mm.
I almost bought that, but it was like $30 for a 6-pack. Like
What?
I wanted to try it because I wanted to see what new Coke tasted like because I'd never had it. Like,
Wasn't
was it
it
really that bad? Were people like,
the
ooh,
same?
fuck this?
I thought I
don't know.
heard it was like the same as Coke.
They changed the formula somehow.
I have no idea.
But people are like, this doesn't taste like Coca-Cola. And it almost killed them. But I mean, there's a theory that Coke did that because Crystal Pepsi was killing it. And they made a bad version of Coca-Cola so that it would kill them and kill Crystal Pepsi. Whatever. There's probably a documentary about it, but whatever. So like back to my weird diatribe. I think like Stranger Things gets a pass for being nostalgia, but like post Stranger Things, it's like fuck off. We get it. You're in the 80s. They have an Evil Dead poster. Yeah, they had an Evil Dead poster.
And I buy it. Like I buy that he's got it.
I buy it in Stranger Things, but like after that, like anything after that, and it's just like it's supposed to be in the 80s, it's like fucking try. Like throw up some other weird movie. Like
any of those.
Yeah, throw up whatever.
House
Humanoids
2.
from the Deep, or
Chud.
House 2. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Vamp, like we watched last week.
Tell me you're a horror fan without telling me you're a horror fan.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like a real one.
Oh, I would just show off my VHS collection. That would be my video.
For sure. I think that's where I get hung up. And I get like super low budget when they can't get the rights to some of them, but I also like I have a feeling the rights to putting a Chud poster in your movie really doesn't cost much.
Probably not. They'll probably be stoked to do it. You know what I would love to do too, like with those indie as I'm noodling this more and more, with those indie posters is like because sometimes when you're making a movie that doesn't have a big budget, you don't have money to spend on really cool poster art. Like
that's what
some
I mean.
Of the projects we've done in the past, like We're Alive Frontier at Geek and Sundry, has some of the best poster art I've ever seen.
Fucking fantastic.
I can't remember who the dude's name, Chris, I think his name was, right? Ivan's partner. In Hunters Entertainment made those, and like that's amazing poster art. Like I would love to take these indie movies and design poster art for them that looks super dope if they don't have super dope poster art, and like put that version of it in the movie, and then like have like partner with them to like sell that version of the poster.
That's the crazy thing about the 80s though. Like everybody had great, well, even before that. I'm sorry, were you done, Glenn? Because I don't want to pull
I think I rambled for long enough. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to say about TikTok. So I've been we've been posting like birthdays, on this day so and so was born, and releases. One of the most interesting things about that to me is that there's a lot of very random movies that people may have never heard of. I've never heard of, spanning the entire 20th century. I want to say there have been like movies from the 20s and 30s and 40s, and the poster art is really just what a lost art because it's absolutely stunning. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing it every day and appreciating and seeing all the really cool stuff that has come and gone. And I hope it comes back. I wish it would come back because just pictures are like, whatever, but the poster art is where it's fucking at,
It's true.
Yeah.
Most of the time it was people actually making paintings, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Even
just
for
what Drew Struzan did. Yeah.
Garbage movies. Like
well, it'll sell it. That's what sells the movie.
It's true. Like I watched a terrible movie last night. It's not even. It's basically a late night Cinemax movie, but the poster for it is fucking fantastic, and it's like way more like.
What is it?
The movie Malibu Express. It's late night Cinemax movie. It's girls with guns, basically. It's basically what they're watching in Jackie Brown. If anybody gets that reference that I'm talking about in that movie.
Yeah.
It's basically just 80s action movie with TNA, but basically, but the poster of it's just
not the wrestling organization.
No, but the poster's like fantastic. Like they got like a true artist to make sadly a painting for a movie that like wildly doesn't deserve it. And that happened all the time in the 70s and 80s. Like
it happens now, man. It happens now with companies like Uncorked and Wild Eye Releasing. Like it happens all the time, man. You get there it is, Mac Morton, you got it.
Nice.
Yeah, you get like you get a movie that's maybe not as good as what else is out there, and
right,
you know, but that's the thing. Like you get these movies for close to free if you're a distribution company, and then you make, you know, you spend $1,000 hiring someone to make bomb ass fucking poster art and key art, and then you put that out into the world, and people are going to click on it.
Yeah, and let me just say, and I'm obviously dating myself here. When you used to, and I miss it so much, go to the video store.
Yes.
Walk the aisles. It was an event, right? It was like a Friday night or, you know, Saturday night. And you would like slowly walk all the new releases, check it out, see what spoke to you. And that's what you're looking at. You're looking at the poster art. And then you're checking, this looks cool. And then you look at the description. And then you like do the walkthrough of the other sections. Like, is there anything old I want to check out? You know, I understand and appreciate what's the why are words so hard? How easy it is, and the necessity nowadays, because we're trying to fill our days with everything else, of being able to have that at your fingertips. But it was a thing, and it was a really cool thing, and it was a really cool feeling, and I miss that.
For sure.
I actually bought Chopping Mall on Blu-ray because I couldn't find it anywhere a couple of years ago. It was like last year or the year before, something like that. I was like, I want to own this. And again, if you have the room, if you have the money, buy physical media. Like,
yeah, I want to start getting back into physical media. You know what I want to do, D? Can we build a video store in the office?
Yes. I mean, sure. Yes. I mean, I was going to say in the house that we don't have right now, but yes.
Yeah, like just like a whole corner of the room, just VHS and DVD, and then we'll have like the other corner will be like a movie
I have a whole
lounge
corner
that we can watch the movies in.
Of course.
I love this plan.
Don't be ridiculous.
Love this plan.
Yeah, I have a whole corner that's basically that. Yeah.
And then check the return bin to see if the movie was returned 100%. Yeah, it actually had to be a Friday night. Otherwise, if you're interested in new releases, otherwise they were just gone for the weekend.
I worked at Blockbuster for like 2-3 years when I first moved to California. And it was my favorite job I've ever held, period, full stop. I've produced movies and television. And working at Blockbuster Video was my favorite job, full stop. Because it was like being in a movie. We got robbed one time. Like these three dudes rolled in with pillowcases, and like they like ransacked the store. No, like in their hands. Like we didn't see them at first, and they fill up the pillowcases with DVDs and Blu-rays, and then they ran out. They like sprinted out the door, and as they did, they maced us. They hit us to like stop us from coming after them, but that didn't stop one of my best friends of all time, my first new friend in California, Mikey, from running out the door. He jumped on the hood of their moving car and they rolled him off the car. This dude worked at Blockbuster for like 13 years, never accepted a management position because he loved being a customer service rep so much. He loved talking about movies, and he loved giving recommendations. and working the floor and putting in organizing movies just the same as I did. I would have never taken a manager position at Blockbuster. I loved stocking videos and going to the return bin on a Friday and Saturday night when people are just like, hey, is this movie? And people would wait for like an hour or two. Like
It's
at the video store,
crazy,
like
right?
waiting for that movie. Like fucking the new
Holy
Star
crap.
Wars is coming out, and I remember like walls and walls, like 4 videos deep. Oh man, those were the
Oh my
days.
gosh.
I used to be able
It
to carry
really was
like
great.
20 some videos in an arm at a time under the neck, and you're just throwing them. We grab the
Wait,
cover
are
box.
these
throw 'em
VHS
out.
or DVDs?
VHS?
Very
Dude,
impressive.
I would be able to carry a stack of VHS, and then we got a cart finally. After a year of walking around manually, I looked at the cart in the back and I said, "Shouldn't we just use that?" And they went,
Oh my God.
I can still, in my fingers, feel that feeling of Blockbuster cases, how
Yeah.
they're shut.
Oh, 100%.
"My
like,
iPad
click,
screen cover
click,
feels
click.
that way, and it makes me so happy."
Now, my question is, what are those guys stealing today?
Jewels.
You had it's their international jewel thieves, the Mace gang.
No, jewels.
Oh yeah, they steal jewels and jewel pods. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they went from Blockbuster to international
I've worked-
jewel thieves. You're right, Glenn. You're right.
I worked at Hollywood Video, not Hollywood Video. I worked at HEB Video. HEB is a grocery store in Texas. Before Hollywood Video bought that spot, and HEB Video was just like a defunct thing. I didn't work there for too long, but Blimpies was next door, and that's
Oh,
where
the sandwich
that's where I
shop?
had-
Fuck
yeah, it
Blimpies.
was delicious.
No.
It's delicious. I had the best. I don't even know what it was like turkey, and like spicy mustard and cheese. I do the
Blimpies
same
charged
thing
like
every day.
$8 for a sandwich in '94, and I don't understand how they're still. I think they still weirdly are in business.
Are they? I don't think I've ever seen one since then.
I remember the advice I got when I was working at Blockbuster. One day I went across the street and I got a Yoshinoya bowl, and I came back and I was eating my Yoshinoya bowl behind the counter, and I can't remember who I was working with at the time, but they were like, "Dude, Yoshinoya bowl is fucking gross. You want Panda Express? They're a door over." And I was like, "Oh, what?" And there was a Panda Express like in the grocery store across the street, and I would go to the Panda Express there and eat fucking every day.
And he has not turned back since.
Because Panda Express is the bomb. Orange chicken for life. For life!
Did you ever go to the OG one in Pasadena?
No.
Orange restaurant?
Restaurant, yeah.
No, the Panda Inn.
I like that. Oh, there you go.
No, that's a real place.
It is.
It
I've read the
is. No,
story
no.
on one of the Panda Express
On
walls.
the wall.
Yeah, okay. That's true. I forgot they put that shit everywhere.
Yeah. So we had some robots in this movie. They were robots. They looked like robots.
Robotic.
Did they scare
Definitely
you guys
80s
at all?
robots.
I mean, they didn't feel like. To me, they looked a little silly. Like again, respect
Yeah.
that they worked, but like
Yes.
when they'd
For
get mad,
real.
they would their arms had like 2 positions. It was like locked into place and then raised up, and like that was like everything else was a puppet arm that they could open and close. Like
Not for nothing. Like, obviously, this is post Terminator. Terminator didn't have a real working robot. This did.
Dun dun.
well, yeah, because it was
They were either puppets
it was
or
an RC car with some cardboard all over it.
whatever. It fucking worked.
It does.
I mean, no. As a viewer, no. Although when you're younger and you see this, you're like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? It's like, oh God, they're fighting for their lives. What's gonna happen? If I were in the situation and a robot was shooting lasers at me and chasing me around, yeah, I'd probably be scared.
And I
mean,
saw
yeah,
one
I'd
of
be-
my hot friends head explode. Yeah, I'd be fucking scared.
Yeah, I mean, if it was an ugly friend, I feel like I probably wouldn't be as scared. But
I mean,
a hot friend would really get me nervous. I'd be like, oh, if she could die, so can I. Being so hot myself.
No, like I would be more scared if it was the hot friend because like that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, I feel like, they cracked the code with the mirrors. So why not just carry around a bunch of mirrors? Like the lasers were clearly subject to the law of reflection, and that's what got one of the robots in the end was his own laser beam reflected off a mirror. And I'm kind of like, if that worked, why am I not rolling with those mirrors? It's not like they were heavy. Fucking robot starts shooting a laser at me. I'm just going to duck behind the mirror. My friend took a shot to the shoulder. It didn't blow his arm off, so I'm sure it's fine. Boom, mirror. Just cover up behind it. Pew. And then, like, because they're extremely directional. Like you said, Glenn, the robot has no tilt. It's only got pan. So it can just do this. This is its axis. It is not just this. So pew, pew. It shoots at you. It's coming directly back. If you can get that mirror lined up, you can maybe take out some tread. Throw it down. Yo, Shelby. Thanks for the raid.
Oh, ooh. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome.
I honestly think
Blood and Popcorn.
what I would have done, and I said this during this, was go to the topmost floor, which have bought you a lot of time, disable the one elevator, because those clearly can't go up fucking stairs.
Can they go up the escalators? I feel like no, right? Because
They weren't
wheels.
on.
Oh, that's right.
If you looked at the escalators, they were not working, so they were just stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So like they had to use the elevators, and they clearly could disable the elevators because they did in one. Just like go to the third or fourth floor and fucking bomb the cables, and you're done.
Yeah. And that's
Just wait until 6 a.m. and the doors open to the.
It's the cops' problem at that point. You're not dealing with the robots anymore. I mean, you're going to jail for trespassing, but like, at least you're alive. Like they're, sure. Like these robots, they kill everyone. There's only 2 survivors. That's a big death pool.
Yeah.
For 3 robots in a single evening. Like that's a high body count. Thanks for the gifts up there, Epic.
Thanks, Epic. Was this like their first night too?
Yeah.
Like,
I think so.
Like day 1, and they're like, "Oh no, lightning! We're gonna kill everyone."
I don't know because like
there was that presentation though.
Yeah, they did the presentation, and then everyone had their badges, and they all seemed to know how to use them. It felt like it might not have been the first night, but I will say something that was a little unusual is that there are 2 of our characters' parents owned stores in the mall. Which I was like, how interesting that all these friends all work together in the mall. But I guess it was the 80s, right? Like I worked at a mall, but I wasn't like super close with anybody. I think I dated a girl for like a week, and I went to like semi-formal with another one as a friend. But yeah, like I didn't know mall folk were that tight.
What's
I didn't know they were that close.
Is that like cummerbund up and then jean shorts below?
Yeah, it's like it's redneck formal. You go in with a tuxedo shirt and a velvet jacket and some jorts.
I guess now it's like joggers and Crocs, and then
oh god,
I don't know.
Yeah, real talk. But yeah, so like I think they had a good way to kill it. Like I always like to talk about how to solve the problem of the killer. Like that's why I hate It Follows as much as I do, because I think that it's one of the worst movie monsters that's ever been created.
Wrong.
In my
opinion. We're not going to talk about that today.
Today, no, but that's the thing with the robot. Like I feel like once they learned that the mirror was a good weapon against it, and they had already shot off 1,000 rounds of ammunition into this indestructible thing.
No, like
why are you still wielding the gun?
Like magnums, assault rifles, shotguns.
Yeah, it's the wrong thing to do.
And what is it? It's paint and paint thinner that brings them down.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The explosion is so intense that it knocks the robot's head ajar like this. And the robot's like this, and he's like, no.
80s paint was different.
Everything in the 80s
get a
was
bat and get at it from behind. Get a bat.
Yeah, that's always an option. Get a bat, get at it from behind.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, like I feel like even that would have been better. Like close quarters combat. Like its turning speed wasn't incredibly fast. Like the head was faster than the body, so you've got that to contend with. But like I feel like if a couple people ganged up on that thing, like those arms were metal, but they weren't like they didn't look incredibly strong. Like
they're
I feel like you
the
could have
gadget arms.
Yeah, I feel you could have taken off a couple arms with a bludgeoning weapon, or at least like gotten up close with the shotgun, like put the barrel right next to the joint and blown an arm off. Like, I think like trying to take on a robot shell with a bunch of buckshot isn't going to get the job done. You got to get up close and get like stick the thing right in the neck of the robot, like blow out the gears or something. Like, no risk, no reward in a horror movie. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could shoot Jason in the chest 6 times with your revolver, or you can like run up behind him and dump 6 shots in the back of his fucking skull. You know what I mean? Like, it's just as risky either way, because if you run away, he's going to hurl whatever weaponized thing is closest to him through your body.
TJ kills Jason execution style.
That's it. Like, I go behind him, you know, like, well, that's the thing. Like, so the Friday the 13th game, like, you can kill Jason in that game. It's really hard to do. But you
it's
can.
Also really hard to kill campers.
You can circle up on Jason and you can murder him. And I'm like, yeah, because that's how you do it. You got to get everyone together in a group. You get a couple people, take out the legs, and then you get behind him execution style, and you just start going to town. I never understood.
Nobody knows. He takes them out before there's a big group.
Yeah, but like, this is the thing, right? So like, you've got these killers throughout history, right? And they always find themselves in these really great one-on-one experiences because everyone's like panicking and like running away. I think if you ganged up on Jason, like, you disarm him, he can crush your skull, he can punch a hole through your chest. Like, he's still a very capable killer without a weapon. But like, I feel like if you've got the camp on your side and everybody's like walloping on this dude and like taking out his legs from under him, you know, I feel like what harm's he gonna do with no legs? You know what I mean? Like, he's fast, but he's not that fast. Like, at that point, you're walking away. You know, but then again, execution style. If you've got a gun, don't shoot Jason in the chest. You know what I mean? Like, get behind him. Yeah. Do some damage. Get in there and make it work. That's my advice to you. Should you find yourself facing Jason Voorhees?
It's good advice. It's good advice. I like that advice.
Yeah, but same with these robots. These robots. Ranged weapon not proving completely insufficient for damage. Got to get up close, like you said, D. Get up close, get in there, and make it work.
So what did take them down? The paint and paint thinner for some reason.
That explosion was good enough.
Paint in the 80s was made with nitroglycerin.
Yeah, the elevator drop,
which is fine. The elevator drop,
and then the laser in the mirror.
The laser in the mirror, interesting.
Yeah.
I guess your best course of action would just to like get a mirror and just run towards it and then just attach it to the front of it so it would shoot itself in the face.
Yeah, that's it.
Or again, stairs.
Stairs are also a fantastic option. Really great.
It wouldn't defeat it, but...
Well, also, like, hiding really seemed to work. Like, you got to remember something, right? Like malls are not small buildings. This was a 3-story mall. So...
It's huge.
That's a lot of surface area to cover. And if you've ever been to a mall, you understand they're fucking massive. So, like, you could go and hide in a store for hours. And this thing's not going to have the capability. It's not going to go blowing out doors for every store to see if you're in there. If you let it know it's there, it's coming for you. But, like, I feel like this is a very hideable situation. Well, then you're fucked, Dave. Beyond that, I think if it could read the mall directory, then I don't know what you're
actually maybe the best plan would to be get a comforter from your furniture store and just chill out in the fucking ventilation vent, because it again can't look up and it can't shoot that way.
Yeah.
And it's not like they could shoot like a support that's holding the ventilation.
Covered.
Well, they turned up the heat. Like, don't forget, they turned up.
Well, that's why I said the comforter. Like, then you weren't touching bare metal, but like,
but I think throw a comforter over the motherfucker. You know what I mean? Throw a blanket, put a trash bag over its head, and suffocate it. I mean,
it doesn't
do what you got to do.
I was gonna say something. I can't remember.
I don't ruin every horror movie.
Oh, it's because he hates John Carpenter.
Glenn, did you have any did you have any thoughts
What?
on the camera work here in this one? Anything that you liked, didn't
Uh,
like?
I nothing specifically that I didn't like. Um, it was all steady and good. There was no unnecessary handheld, which really wasn't an 80s thing anyway, so which is fine. Uh, I thought it was pretty good. The lighting was pretty good. It looked like a mall after dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they did a pretty good job of like. I mean, I know the robots were real in a sense that they moved around. So like there wasn't any like weird like trying to hide the fakery of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, again, it was very neon and pastel 80s colors, which I love.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we all do.
I can't really no. Yeah, again, probably one of the reasons I really like this movie. There's not really any cinematography reasons I don't like it.
There you go. D, anything special about this movie that really sticks with you after yet another viewing?
I mean,
Favorite moment?
you got some wonderful, true to the time 80s clothing. I really loved Barbara Crampton's like lace. Was it a bodysuit? I can't remember, that went over, her bra. That was like a good look. She's a little rebellious. In general,
All the guys were wearing button ups, which is why I wore
oh,
I was gonna
very
say, Glenn, you look very
nice.
sharp.
You're dapper. Very nice. No, that's true. They'd all just worked. They had to look presentable. It's just still a truly enjoyable film for me. I will say though that the lead character's hair bothered me.
Yeah, it was pretty big. It was definitely creating drag as she ran through the mall.
Not only that though, her hair was definitely much more difficult to keep continuity on, because there were some major moments where it listen, I apologize, I'm not a big fan of that particular hairstyle to begin with.
No, it was fucking terrible.
So Denise's favorite part about the movie was hating the final girl's hair.
Yes.
Glenn, what
Yes,
was
yes,
your
yes.
favorite part of the movie?
That I can now give Denise shit for something from here on out. Hating 80s women's hair, apparently.
There it is. You got one. You got one in the tank.
Glenn, no, just particular styles. Let's not be ridiculous, okay? I love 80s women's hair.
Mm.
I
Okay.
would have crimped my hair if I had time and could find my crimper.
What was the question? My favorite part?
Do you have a favorite part from the
What
movie?
was the question?
I mean, I hate to say the head explosion, but it
was
has to
good.
be the head explosion.
Yeah.
One, I'm a sucker for practical effects, especially when you don't cut away from them and show them in all of their
Gory.
gory,
Sorry.
deranged,
Shut up now.
semi-unsafe glory.
Yeah.
But like, I like it so much because it comes out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Like that movie, you're just like, oh, they're gonna get winged by a laser and like bleed a little, or like
Right.
Because she takes like a few shots.
Yeah.
She gets shot like in the torso, in the back, in the shoulder.
Yeah, and you're like,
but
these
none
lasers
of
don't
them do the
shit.
damage that the head shot does.
No, and then it's just all of a sudden scanners, and you're
Like
just
a
like,
fucking watermelon falling from 50 stories.
it's
Exactly.
true.
It fucking explodes. Yeah, I mean it's fair to say that's my favorite part in the movie too, is the head explosion. I think it's fucking rad. That,
I'm sorry,
and I love
I changed my vote.
Denise's favorite part is also the head explosion.
Yes.
I also really love something that's super memorable for me is Dick Miller, who plays Walter Paisley, the
Oh yeah.
the janitor, when he's getting electrocuted and he's like, "Ah!" Like, dude,
so good.
nothing beats an 80s electrocution with like the animated
No,
electricity.
it
I was
doesn't.
Oh my
like
God, yes.
it's like, okay, man, like if you've ever been on the Haunted Mansion, or not the Haunted Mansion, the Hollywood Tower of Terror at Disney, and you're watching the opening movie where the hotel guests get electrocuted, and they're all like, oh, it's like, okay, shake around, but then the old man is just looking around like he's confused, while the rest of the people, oh. And man, that's,
Holy crap.
I think Dick Miller puts on one of the best displays of movie electrocution in cinema history. Congratulations, Dick.
Yep.
You did it.
I'm gonna be with you on that.
Yeah, it's you can't beat it. So why bother trying?
Should be cute.
Yeah. Well, we're getting close to the end here, guys. Anyone have any final thoughts on Shopping Mall? Anything else they'd like to touch on before we start saying our adieus?
No.
It does have a fantastic Blu-ray release from whatever I'll say it from Vestron, which I think is an imprint of Lionsgate now. If you can and do collect physical media, especially low budget 80s, especially horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
We need physical media, or like things will go away when streaming takes over everything.
Yeah, and because like streaming too, it's like it belongs to generally who you buy it from. So if Netflix goes away, if iTunes goes, I'm sorry, not Netflix, but if iTunes and Amazon go away, all that's gone. And not only that, like it needs to be preserved, because I'm thinking about all of these movies that are coming up in these daily posts from TikTok and the posters and stuff like that. And it's like, what if you want to find those? Like, how many people have picked up releases of movies like this?
Mm-hmm.
And I think if the demand is there, it will happen, because it's literally about preserving the history.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry,
And
carry on.
there are one of the biggest things about streaming is it's rights issues about who owns the rights to stream it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why Netflix never has the same library all of the year. It's because they have to buy and rebuy or release various titles. And the more we let streaming companies, whatever, own the landscape the way they do,
Yeah.
like we're gonna have less and less options. Like
Yeah.
not for nothing. Like I think it's my turn to pick next week. Like half to 3/4 of my list of what I want to watch isn't streaming, but you can buy it easily on physical media.
So do
well, we can do that, because we are going to have a little bit of a break, right?
Yeah, we're off next weekend.
Which we'll talk about
when we get to the announcements. Before we go, Denise, what are your final thoughts on Shopping Mall? Your pick.
Oh, and visit
Scott's
your local rental stores, for the love of God.
Yeah,
Oh
if
my
one
God,
exists
please.
near you, go and give them your money. Give them all your money.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And talk to the people that work there. They probably are fucking nerds like we are.
Yeah. Again, they're historians. They're the modern day historians.
It's true.
Of films.
They're librarians.
Yeah.
Of cult.
Yeah, film librarians.
Yeah.
It is, well, because that's one of the reasons I think, and I'll let you speak on that in a minute, TJ. I think that's one of the reasons that you and Mikey enjoyed working there so much.
Yeah.
Because you were able to share your knowledge. Yeah, it is representative of one of my favorite times in cinema and music history. And I think that it is a bloody good romp. It's a fun time. And that practical head effect is a delight. And it's a little goofy, but it's not unbearably goofy.
Yeah.
No.
So I highly recommend it. And like Glenn said, physical media, absolutely. I came away from that for years. Like, I don't need all this stuff. I need to stop buying movies. And now I am a huge proponent. I mean, I'm also like, waste is a really big thing on my mind. All of the waste that we create. But I have very strong feelings about this now, about preserving this, and about being able to have this as an option because, yeah, once it goes away, it's gone. And that is a scary thought. So yeah, buy physical media, visit video stores if you have them near you, if you can. My dream is to own a video store one day, like
Oh man.
a vast, like that rivals a library. You know what I mean? Like a public library that has floors and floors of books. I want that. I want that for movies.
Handed whatever you believe in, like the Video Vortex and a lot of the Alamo cinemas, it's a video rental store and a bar. It's where people congregate to talk about films and rent them. It's perfection. It's owning something like that or running something like that is the dream for sure.
Mm-hmm. I'm here for this. Let's make it happen, guys.
Yeah,
my final thoughts on Chopping Mall are it's great. It's a weird and crazy and zany movie. Check it out. Get it. Go buy it on Blu-ray or DVD or VHS if you can find it. Get a VHS.
Yeah, it's like an hour and 20
player.
minutes. Like,
yeah, it's fantastic. It's really great.
Put it on.
Yeah, that's it, everybody. That's the episode. Let's start to work our way out of this. We'll do some quick announcements. Hiatus for most of the shows on the channel right now continues as the move continues, but we'll be back in full force come mid-September. But shows like Bonus Round, which you can see here, usually on Monday nights, that'll be coming back in late August, early September. Dead by Daylight will be coming back in mid-September. Of course, you're watching Blood and Popcorn here Friday nights, 10 p.m. We are off again tomorrow night. This show's Curse is also on hiatus until late August, early September. And and then sometime in September, October, we'll be coming out with Random Encounter. Our tabletop gaming show will be premiering. So that's all very exciting stuff. Guys, where can we find you on the internet? Glenn, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me at The Odd Movie Master on Twitter and Instagram. On Instagram, I post a lot of things that I watch myself that we won't necessarily talk about, probably because they aren't streaming. But if you're curious and you like something I post, I can tell you where to possibly find it. And then if you like foodie things, you can follow my other Instagram at Glenn2Ns_Akers_again. That's where I am on the socials.
Denise, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on most of the socials and on Twitch at Denise Pantoja. I am also on a hiatus right now, unfortunately, because of moving. It is hopefully I'll be able to get back to it soon because I really miss it. But moving again, so much fun. And then I'm on TikTok. My name is the Demogorgon. And then Blood and Popcorn is on TikTok. So if you're on there, if you like it, please follow. It's actually a really fun thing that we've been doing. I'm going to get some more of our content out there, but in order to like spin it off, we decided that doing something like getting into some horror history would be a fun thing to do. And it's actually really it's been engaging for me doing some of the research on it. So I'd love to share that with as many people as possible.
Yeah, and if if this is your first time stopping by Channel 29, please give us a follow. If you have it in you, give us a subscribe. It's a great way to support the channel and support the content we've got coming out. But just following us is a huge deal, and we appreciate every follow we get, and we appreciate every subscription we get. So thank you all for the support. I'm at TJ Rotell, wherever popular internets are sold, and that's the show. It's Glenn's pick next time we go on the air, which I don't even know when that is now that I think of it. Let me look at a calendar real quick so we know. So we'll be off next weekend, which is the 27th, but we'll be back on the 3rd for more Blood and Popcorn, and that's going to be Glenn's pick. Glenn, I don't suppose you have your pick laid out yet?
I do. Like I said, had trouble finding one. There's a few that I really, really wanted to watch, but they aren't streaming.
Although that being said, Glenn, we have a 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead time. If you want to go choose one of your, 2 week lead like only physical media ones. Not
Yeah.
everybody's going to buy them, but if they buy it, if they, or even watch the movie, you know what I mean? But if they wanted to, this is a good opportunity for you to be like, okay, this
All right.
is
Do
this
it, Glenn.
is such and such.
All right. Then I will do that because I did have ones that were streaming. I am picking Mr. Vampire.
Ooh,
Mr. Vampire. I
where
love
can we
it.
find this?
I believe it's from 1985. Let me look that up because I wasn't prepared to actually pick this.
I'm so sorry.
It is from 1985.
The Hong Kong comedy horror film.
It is a Hong Kong comedy horror film. It is both. It's fantastic. I know of 2 Blu-ray releases. There was one, I believe, by Panorama Pictures out of Hong Kong, which you can get. It's region free. There was another one by Eureka, who is a UK distributor who did a fantastic job with it. If you have a region free, if you do a little internet searching, you can find DVDs and probably shitty streams places of it. But I want to do this because this gets us into maybe my favorite subgenre of horror, which is the insane world of Hong Kong horror cinema.
Love it.
It's great. It's fun. It's breezy. It's ridiculous. Seek it out. Mr. Vampire 1985.
Boom. There it is. Next episode, September 3rd, Mr. Vampire.
Glenn will also do a little research for us and put it in the Discord.
Yeah,
Yes,
and if you want to join the Discord, there's a link, and you can go and do that. We're in there. It's, we're a fun little community. When people want to talk, we're there to talk. Me, Glenn, Denise hang out there. Davis is in there. Alex, I think Shelby are in there from Monster of the Week. Give us, stop by, say hello. We're chill. We just like to hang out and talk about movies and D&D and shit. So, but that's it. That's our show. Denise, since this was your pick, why don't you come up with give us our exit for the show tonight?
All right. Thanks for joining us and shop till you drop.
Shop till you drop, everybody. See you next time.
A lot of sense, but it's okay.
If you want to hang around, my buddy Dave Myrtle, who was just in chat, is DJing. I'm sure probably DJing, maybe. I don't know what it says he's doing, but yeah, he's probably DJing. We're gonna go over to Dave and listen to Dave DJ a bit. But thank you all for being here. And as Denise said, shop till you drop. Good night, everybody.